Your phone buzzes. A message, a comment, an email with a tone you can't quite read. And just like that, your heart rate climbs, your jaw tightens, your mind, which was calm 2 seconds ago, is now running through every possible meaning of the word okay with a period at the end. You haven't moved, you haven't spoken, but your entire body just declared war on a text message. Now imagine this instead. The phone buzzes, you notice it, you feel the impulse rise, that familiar shot of adrenaline looking for a target. And then you let it pass. Not suppressed, not ignored, simply observed, like watching a storm cloud drift across a window. The message is still there, but the reaction? That belongs to you now. This is not a superpower. It's a skill that was mapped out 2,000 years ago by men who never saw a smartphone but understood the human mind better than most psychologists alive today. This is Stoicism versus modern anxiety. And this is what happens when you stop reacting. Let's be honest about what anxiety actually is. It is not the meeting. It is not the bill. It is not the text message. Those are just events. Neutral, meaningless until you assign them meaning. Anxiety is the space between the event and your response. A gap so small, most people never notice it exists. For most of us, that gap is a fraction of a second, not enough time to do anything but react. The Stoics call this gap the discipline of assent. Before you can assent to a thought, agree with it, feed it, let it spiral, there's a pause. A tiny moment of freedom. Most people live their entire lives without ever stepping into that pause. But here's what the Stoics knew. That pause is trainable. Seneca wrote that we suffer more in imagination than in reality, not as poetry. Your brain, left unsupervised, will always choose the worst possible interpretation. It is not trying to hurt you, it is trying to protect you. A million years of evolution taught it that the cautious survive. But evolution never met a notification badge. Marcus Aurelius had a problem most of us will never face. He was the most powerful man on earth, emperor of Rome. Every word he spoke could end a life or save an empire. The pressure was not metaphorical. It was absolute. And his solution was not to control the world. His solution was to control his judgments about the world. Every morning, he wrote to himself, "Today I will meet interference, ingratitude, insolence, disloyalty, ill will, and selfishness." Not as a complaint, but as a training exercise. He was preparing his mind before the world could ambush it. By predicting the worst, he robbed it of its power to surprise him. This is what the Stoics called premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of evils. And it sounds miserable until you try it. Because here is the strange truth. When you expect the difficult thing, it stops being difficult. When you have already imagined the worst possible outcome, the real outcome, which is almost never the worst, feels like a relief. You are standing in line at a coffee shop. The person in front of you is taking forever, changing their order, asking questions about oat milk. You feel the irritation building, that hot, righteous anger that has no target and no purpose. Now here's the fork in the road. Path 1. You let the irritation take over. Your jaw tightens, you check your phone aggressively, you are rude to the barista who had nothing to do with it. The anger cascades, and it follows you into the car, into your next conversation, into the quiet moment you were supposed to enjoy. Path 2. You notice the irritation, and you name it. This is anger, you tell yourself, the way Epictetus taught his students to label impressions like specimens in a jar. And then you ask the only question that matters. Is this under my control? The person's slowness? Not under your control. Your reaction? Completely under your control. And in that split second of clarity, the anger collapses. It has nothing to hold on to. You just performed emotional jujitsu on your own brain. This is not philosophy for philosophy's sake. This is a system. The Stoics built a framework for mental freedom that works exactly like this. Here it is, stripped down to its bones. Step 1. Catch the impression. Before the thought becomes a feeling and before the feeling becomes a reaction, catch it while it's still just a thought. My boss hates me. I'm going to fail. They think I'm stupid. Catch it. Step 2. Interrogate it. Not with self-doubt, but with curiosity. Is this true? Is this useful? Does thinking this help me or hurt me? Most of the thoughts that torture you dissolve under even a gentle question. Step 3. Choose. You cannot choose what arrives in your mind, but you can choose what stays. You can choose what you feed. You can choose what you become. This is not suppression. Suppression is pushing the thought down and pretending it does not exist. That is a pressure cooker. That is how you explode at the wrong person 3 days later. This is something else. This is being the gatekeeper of your own consciousness. We have been asking what if all wrong. What if I lose my job? What if they don't like me? What if everything falls apart? These are anxiety's favorite questions. They are designed to be unanswerable. They trap you in a loop with no exit. But what if we reverse the question? What if you lose your job and find something better? What if they don't like you and you discover that their approval was never the thing holding you together? What if everything falls apart and you realize you are strong enough to rebuild? The Stoics were not optimists. They were not pessimists. They were realists who understood that your interpretation of an event determines your experience of it. The thing itself is neutral. Your judgment makes it poison or medicine. Here is something you can try tonight. The next time your phone buzzes with something that makes your stomach drop, do not open it immediately. Count to 10. Not the kind of counting when you're still spiraling internally. Real counting. 1, 2, 3. Feel your feet on the floor. 4, 5, 6. Notice your breathing. 7, 8, 9, 10. Now open the message. You will discover something remarkable. The message has not changed, but you have. The 10 seconds did nothing to the content, but they did everything to your relationship with it. This is the discipline of the pause. It is the simplest Stoic practice and the most transformative. 10 seconds. That is how long it takes to reclaim your mind. The Stoics had a name for what they were building. The inner citadel. Not a physical fortress, not a wall against the world, but a center of gravity inside yourself that does not move no matter what happens outside. Anxiety is the feeling of being untethered, of floating, of having no ground beneath your feet. And the inner citadel is the ground. It is built one pause at a time, one unfed reaction, one moment of choosing calm when everything around you screams for panic. You do not build it in a day, but you can start in the next 5 minutes. The next time you feel the surge, the heat, the spiral, just pause. And remember, 2,000 years ago, the most powerful man on earth was practicing the same thing. Not just because he was weak, but because he understood that the only thing worth conquering is the space between your ears. The phone will buzz again. The world will keep being the world. What happens next is entirely up to you.